Good morning. My name is Rachel Richards. I'm super excited to close out Immerse Week 3, where we finish up talking about sponsoring. And we've been really working this whole week at the mindset that really beholds sponsoring, because none of those actions, none of the things that we suggest will make any sense if the mindset isn't there, right? So that's why we spend the most time going over that. And then once that shift happens, all of the skills, all of the drills, all of the trainings, they start to make sense because you're seeing it through a lens that really has settled in with you. So this morning we are in for such a treat. I want to kind of share with you the very first convention that I went to in Texas. I believe we were in Dallas, Fort Worth, and we were staying at the Gaylord. I was there to check out Optavia. I was there, if I'm being completely transparent, I was there to see that maybe it wouldn't work for me because of how my business was being ran at the time. And you guys know my history. I didn't understand how was I going to incorporate Optavia into my wellness practice. And I just wasn't sure. And I didn't know if it was one of those things. And I had a lot of chatter. And so when I went to convention, I had some roommates, and Desiree DeBay was one of my roommates. And, you know, we were on the same page in terms of, now she wasn't there to scope it out, probably with a lot of chatter. We were probably different in that regard. But once I heard from Dr. A and I sat in the first general session, I knew that it was something special. And I could see and feel that it was something special and that it could really work. And my mind shifted from how is this not going to work to how is this going to work and how am I going to work it? And we were both standing in line one morning, just kind of getting to know each other as roommates. You guys know that, like when you don't know anybody and you're staying with people, and you know how all of that is, just kind of imagine. But this girl was up before anybody, dressed, ready to go, notebook, pen, coffee. Actually, I think she was doing her cappuccino fat burn in the room. And she was all business. Like she was there to build a business. And it really inspired me. And I remember we were standing down in the lobby, getting ready to go in, getting our badges on. And we both decided, like, we're going to go for it. Like, we're going to do this. And we were like, almost like little accountability buddies, like, we're going to make it happen. And that was our connection. And it's our connection to this day. Obviously, we've developed a friendship, and that is so sweet. And I just love her and her husband, John, and their kids. And it's just, she's just so hospitable. Anytime she has something, you guys, she reaches out to the community who wants to come, very inviting. But this morning, she's going to share from her heart just where that came from and how she sees sponsoring, and anything else that she wants to share will be a gift. So let's give her our level 2 listening and really listen for that puzzle piece today that only she can bring you because she has something unique for this mission. So with that, Desiree, I'm going to mute myself and let you take it.
Thank you, my friend. And what an honor to share with you guys this morning. I'm so humbled. And Rachel, thank you for your trust. I love you so much, friend. So guys, I mean, how many of you said you would never coach, right? That's where I came from. That's where I started in this wasn't for me. I had so much ego to lose before I actually said yes to coaching. And even at the time, I still had quite a bit still kind of floating around up there. But I was already a 6-figure income earner. I didn't feel like I was looking for anything, and I was a single mom. So in my mindset, I felt like I made it. Okay, that's where I started. And when I met Rachel was when everything kind of started to unfold for me. I ended up saying yes to coaching because I kind of had a dream that I wanted to do this with my husband, and he seemed like he was on board with it too. So more than anything, I wanted a strong relationship. And again, I was a single mom, so we were just dating at that time. So I'm like, okay, this guy, he really wants a future because, you know, he's talking about coaching together and all this stuff. So that's kind of where I began with this. So we sat down and wrote down some goals and started with just wanting to have a wedding, right? And I honestly did not think that this would produce anything income wise. This was something I was going to treat as a little side hustle. I was just going to kind of fit it into the cracks, and whatever happens, happens. So I'm just kind of like, all right, I'll play along. We sat down and did our three-way meet and greet with Justin. And I'm like, I'll play along. I'll sit here and go through the motions. And we were even holding hands, you guys, because we were still that new. And we were literally writing down goals with him. He was pulling goals out of us in dreams, and I didn't have any expectations. But when he started asking, well, what do you guys want? I mean, obviously you guys are talking about building a business together. So is it safe to assume you guys see, a future together and whatnot? So really awkward, right? So we started talking about, yeah, we have dreams to get married. John, of course, was saying he wanted a small wedding, and I was like, no, I want a big wedding. I want everyone there. And so that's where we started, you guys. And it was still kind of just imaginary to me, if that's okay to say, right? We all kind of start very, very scarce. Maybe not all of us, but that was me. And after my first client thanked me for changing her life, it was completely game on at that point, because I felt something from that. I was shook. She thanked me for changing her life. I still get goosebumps. It makes me emotional, because it was no longer just about somebody losing weight. This girl could not find one photo of her with her kids, and we're the same age. We graduated the same class. She had not one picture with her family because she was hiding from the camera. And that was why she reached out to me. And so I treated her like a hobby. I text her, you guys. We never even got on the daily check-ins. But that's the power of somebody wanting this, right? When it comes to client acquisition, it didn't matter if I was a good coach or not. And I was barely kind of toe dipping, right? As Jamil says. So then 3 months later, she posts publicly on her own and thanks me for changing her life. And that was when it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is huge. Who's next? Who else can I help? And from there, I just kind of started running with it, you guys, and ended up replacing my 6-figure income in 6 months. And it was all because I started doing the heart work, falling in love with the people. And, it took some shifts, because here's something that we have to remember too, is when we're starting our own business, we forget that when we're our own boss, all the glory in it, right? Yeah, I'm my own boss. I get to set my own hours. Well, guess what? We're also our own employee. So that's when some of that reality started hitting, setting in for me, and started hitting hard, because here I was thinking like it was going to be all glory, right? And it really wasn't that way in the beginning, because I started kind of getting in my own head. And let's be honest, when we do something like this, all of the self-development, we have to wake up and face ourselves every single day. We have to look at ourselves in the mirror every single day. So if we know that we're not truly doing the work, or we're not, truly even following the program ourselves, we trip ourselves up, because we're watching ourselves and we're judging ourselves the entire time, not feeling like we even believe what we're saying. So that's where so many of those shifts came in. As far as sponsoring goes, in the beginning, I want to say that I was a lot of ignorance on fire, just because I was so excited about helping the people. I didn't know that sponsoring was supposed to be scary. I didn't know that. And that's the culture we're trying to create today, is that it's not supposed to be scary. I didn't know that, so I was just doing it. Justin, when I started listening, he would tell me, okay, you gotta offer coaching. You gotta offer coaching. And so I finally started just offering it to the people that I was starting on the program. And this, I want to say, results not typical. My first 3 coaches hit ED. Okay, so that's how fast it started happening. But honestly, I believe it was because I had nothing up here that was a hang up, that was, kind of projected out to them, making it scary. It was just, oh my gosh, this is the next step. You got a coach, you're amazing at this. You have all these people asking you anyway. They're not going to call me. They're waiting for you. And so I just kind of started running with it, you guys. But then of course, as I started kind of getting further and further into coaching and getting on the trainings, that's when it started to get scary, because then I started hearing, oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be afraid of sponsoring? I had no idea. So I started to trip myself up in little ways here and there. And I started also having shifts though, along the way, finding a little bit of breakthrough here and there. So those first 3 coaches that I sponsored, One of them, you guys, you know how we all kind of have a scared list? You know how we all kind of decide who's going to say yes and who's going to say no, or who needs this or who doesn't? One of the girls that I ended up sponsoring, I didn't even want to talk to her for about a year. I kept skipping right past her. Skipping right past her. I'm like, oh, she'll never do this. I know her since middle school. She was always flawless. Like, she'll never, ever. So I would just go right past her. Then something clicked on a training like one of these. And I'm kind of like, you know what? Let me just see if she knows anybody who's looking for this, right? Use the soft skill. Hey, friend, you know, I have this really awesome program that I know you've probably seen I've been posting a lot about. Do you know anybody who might be looking to lose weight, gain weight, or get off medications? I would love to connect with the people in your world. She responds, oh my gosh, I've been watching you for the past year and I've just been afraid to reach out to you. How many times has that happened to us, you guys? So mind was blown. This girl, although looks flawless to me from the outside, it was everything that was happening in here for her. She shared with me that she had had 4 miscarriages in the past 6 months. Actually, it might have been a little bit longer than that, but she had had multiple miscarriages, and her doctor told her, if you change your diet, try getting healthy. She didn't look unhealthy, you guys. He said, try changing your diet and see if it makes a difference. So she came to me, we started her program. That in on its own was mind blowing, because here I was deciding that she didn't need this. You guys, she has a beautiful baby boy today. So when we're in our own head and we're deciding, excuse me, we're deciding who needs this and who doesn't, we have no idea who needs this. We have no idea what people are really going through in their everyday lives, because they only share the stuff that they want us to see. They're not sharing the stuff that is personal to them. That's where we come in. That's what we're supposed to pull out of them. And every single person deserves this in one way or another. So more shifts, just not deciding who needs this. I grew out of a scared list even. I've just reached out to everybody and anybody at this point. And I stopped kind of scrolling and telling myself a story for every single person. I don't just reach out to people about needing health and wellness or who they can refer me to. Now I'm just kind of like, hey friend, do you know anybody who might be looking for additional income? Do you know anybody who is in love with health and fitness? I always say health and fitness because knowing what I know about how I was prior to this, I thought they were the same thing until I started coaching, and then I saw the and in health and fitness. So I always put them together because a lot of times people think they know kind of what this is, and so we kind of have to just teach them a little bit, right? So you guys just offer it to everyone. There's power in 500. You guys have probably heard that somewhere. There's power in 500, meaning $500. You know, even people that already have a great income, even people that already have, they project that they have a great income, are looking for more. $500 a month can be, I don't know, sending a child to private school. It can be a date weekend, right? A date night, right? A really nice one, right? So there's a lot of things that we can have with just 500, but guess what? The people that think they would never do this fall in love with it, just like all of you. And that's what I remind my own team. If we sit here for a second and we think about everything that we're grateful for because of coaching, the self-development is probably number one for me. Meeting all of you guys and making new friends, you guys, that's what I realized that I was here for. Okay, remember in the beginning, I felt like I made it. The big old fat ego, right? The FAT ego had nothing to do with the body. Had nothing to do with the body weight journey. I only lost 15 pounds when I started. I hate to say only, but that's some of the stuff that we trip ourselves up in, right? Oh, I don't have a big enough weight loss story. Mine's not as glorious as my friend Davina who lost 100 pounds in 6 months. It doesn't matter. How many of our friends would love to lose 15 pounds in a month, right? Oh, well, I just started. I mean, I can't really talk about this yet. I'm not at my goal weight. You've lost however many pounds your friends would love to lose the same. They don't care if you're at your goal weight or not. So we got to take a lot of that red light thinking and just get rid of it. Just throw it out the window because it doesn't matter. When we start having reasons why we're deciding this may not work for somebody or I shouldn't, it's because we're making it about us. If I can say that, humbly from a place in my heart where I've been there, done that, we're making it about us. It isn't until we just love the people and we get out of our headspace where we can start to drown in doing the hard work. Oh my gosh, all the conversations. Oh my goodness, all the calls. Then we start building teams and now we're doing calls for them too. We could get compassion fatigue. There's a lot behind growing teams and running to FIBC, but that's because we're making it about ourselves again. We need to go back to the beginning when that first client thanked me for changing her life and I was doing the heart work. So I started just offering it to anybody and everybody because I knew that there was magic in this. I knew the power behind it. So I don't know. You guys just keep offering, keep giving it away. We all know what it feels like to be here, right? When we have to face ourselves every single day and we're challenged and we're pushed and we're scared, but we do things anyway, we feel alive. We feel alive for the first time. That's what we're giving away. Rachel, I hope that was helpful, friend.
So very helpful. I mean, how can we disagree with that? We feel alive. We feel alive. So many nuggets. If you go back and rewatch that a couple times, that piece, my friend, is a training in and of itself, that you could extract one truth after the next truth after the next truth. Don't make decisions for other people. Don't profile people. Do it scared. Attach yourself to the true mission, which is not weight loss. Like, on and on and on, there's, and that sounds so easy, but at the end of the day, you hit something that I think about all the time. I think, why do people leave us? Why do they leave? Why do they stop coaching? I don't understand. Like, it's so upsetting to me in my heart, right? And then I realized that personal development is painful. Being a CEO and knowing that there's no commute to blame, there's no boss to blame, there's no supervisor to blame. And when we sit with ourselves and we go, oh my gosh, it's me. It's me. I have to unbecome. Do you see why some people might shake in their boots? Like, we're so used to being in a position where we get to victimize, right? We're a victim of this or a victim of that. And on this mission, we have to grip that mirror and go, what is it about me that has to change? And you know what? A lot of people won't do that with us. And that's okay. It's not their time. It's not their season. We love them anyway, and we hope they come back, right? But that's what I have seen. And you really did touch on that, is it's gripping the mirror and doing that hard work. Thank you so much. I know you got to run to an October Madness because your team is on another one. But I'll never forget, in closing, sitting at another convention, I don't know, 2 years later, and Desiree's up on stage, global director, just like, and in my heart, I cried because I was like, I remember our pinky promise in the lobby that we were both going to do it. Like, we were going to do it, right? So friend, go do it. And know that we're all behind you. Love it. All right. So today we are going to just get into it. Like, we need some skills. We have all this mindset, but we need some skills, some feet on it. How many of you are feeling like that? Like, I need to put some feet on this and know how to do what, when, starting now, right? So I want to give you that. The very first question that I want to ask you, and I need you to put it in the chat. It's a little bit of interaction today because this stuff is so important, okay? Just put it in the chat. I'm going to ask you, hi, Tammy, what is it that you do again? Hey, Jody, I've been seeing your post. What is it that you do again? Brian, I've been watching you. Wow, man, you guys are so inspiring, you and Julie. What is it that you do again? Can you guys put it in the chat for me? I need to see what we do. Each of you write, what is it that you do again? Bam, there it is. There it is, okay? The very first answer, let's see, let me see if I can see. Tim, you were not supposed to go first. So I train and develop health coaches. How many of you would have said I'm a health coach? It's okay, no judgment, but we're gonna think bigger this morning, okay? I train and develop transformational health coaches. I like to stick transformational in there. And then people are like, what's transformational health coaching? We offer all the things that are left out of traditional health coaching. The mindset, the personal development, the habit science. Did you know there's science to habit reform? I didn't either. I was just a regular health coach before I got here, telling people what to eat, telling people what to drink, never asked them how they thought, never taught them how to think well, right? So when someone asks you, what do you do? What is this thing, Anthony, that you guys are getting into? It looks so interesting. Oh my goodness. I have joined the second fastest growing company in the world, and I am training and developing health coaches. Oh my gosh. Wow. Right? So it's so much bigger. That's a sponsoring answer. If you want a client only, then just say, I'm a health coach. I'm a transformational health coach, and you'll probably get some clients. But if you want people to know that they can join your team, or someone they know can join your team, the answer will have to be a little bit higher than that. Okay, a little bit bigger than that. The vision and mission of this company is that each one would teach one. So it's truly, truly missional. I want you to think about, we're going to get into some very step by step, we're going to get into some things, but did that help anybody shift? Is anyone shifting out of maybe potentially playing small and just having a client base versus having a team, right? You have to desire a team to have one. And so we want to really be clear on that. How many of you, some of you have heard me tell this story, but I really want you to stick with me if you have. How many of you have ever watched a 4x4 relay race, track and field? Anybody? Put a 2 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if you've ever seen a 4x4 or a 4x1. That would be fine. 100 meters, 400 meters, but we are relay racing. Okay. Very exciting race. And for those of you that don't know, if we use a 4x4, you know, a track, right? And each runner, there are 4 of them, they have a leg of the race. And they run that leg with all their heart, soul, and mind, but there's a duration where it stops, and then they have to pass the baton. And when you're doing it, your eyes are forward and your baton is here, right? And someone who has it has to run with all their might and stick it right in my hand, and then I have to run. And if I drop it, the race is over right there. It's done, okay? Done, disqualified. Sorry that you were first. Sorry that your 4th runner, your anchor, dropped it. You're out. CIF doesn't matter. You're out. You dropped the baton. And so I want to show you this morning, you don't get good at sponsoring. You get good at your leg. You get good at running that leg of the race. If you try, or we could use football, in sponsoring, it's all about yardage. The Hail Mary, that's really hard to do, and it's painful because you don't have enough momentum and trust and dripping to be able to do that. And so it usually doesn't go well because it was too much too soon, and it didn't have the constituents leading up to that. So what's the first leg of that relay race? Anybody know? If I were to say, I'm going to get so good at sponsoring, and I'm the first runner out, I'm in the blocks, okay? It's my job to come out of those blocks, and I got to do that perfectly. Who am I? What am I doing the first part of the race? Anybody know where sponsoring starts? Put it in the health assessment. Yep, health assessment. Now I want to back up a little bit to the warm-up zone. So if I'm jumping over here, because I'm next, right? I'm in the warm-up box. I'm not even in the blocks yet. I'm just jumping over here because I'm like fired up. What would that look like? That looks like when someone says, Sherry, you know, I'm reaching out to you because I've been watching you and Patrick, and I am just like, wow, you know, this is incredible. And so I wanted to reach out to you and find out what you're doing. Now, if I have a sponsoring mindset, I'm going to say, are you asking about our program where we train and certify health coaches? Or are you asking about your own personal health? Oh, could we do that? Are we allowed to do that? Are we allowed to infer that there is more than just personal coaching, that we actually have a whole side of our business, a primary focus that we train and certify health coaches? Are you asking about this for you to become a certified health coach or for your personal health? And they're going to say a lot of times, 9 out of 10 times, they're going to say, oh, no, I just want to get healthy. But what did I do right there? Was that a drip? It was a drip, right? Where they go, oh, I didn't even know that. Okay, drip, planted seed, got it. Okay, so now I'm jumping over here. Now I'm in the starting blocks, and it is the health assessment. You're correct. So where, if I'm running my 400 meters on the health assessment, and I got to have that baton ready to pass, then who am I passing it to after that? We'll get to it. But let's talk about on that health assessment. Where is sponsoring? It's all over the health assessment. Earlier this month, you heard Justin Navini say, guys, don't go into the food and drink without exhausting. What's the hardest part about being you, Sandy? Sandy, if you could put your finger, literally take your finger and put it on the biggest stressor in your life, what would it be? Ugh, my job, my boss, my supervisor, or whatever. Okay, discontent at work. Got it. What else? I lack confidence. I've lost myself. Here's what I heard on a health assessment this week. I have so much to contribute in meetings, but I don't talk because I'm so overweight that I don't want anyone to look at me in the meeting. My gosh, right? Shocked me. I'm like, you don't talk in meetings because you don't want anyone to look down at you? Like, this is the stuff, guys, when we peel back the onion, there's a lot hurting people. And so sponsoring on the health assessment, where else? In their dreams. What would your Disneyland look like, Brian? Like, I know what you're trying to avoid. I hear you. You're trying to avoid this weight gain, and you've tried everything and you've done all these diets, so your will is there. But if you were to stop the avoidance and grab a pen and create your Disneyland with me, what would it look like? What would like the perfect life look like? Or what would the perfect health look like for you? If they bring up finances, peel back a little bit. Peel back a little bit. I know it's uncomfortable, but guys, they need us in that capacity. And then the other space on the health assessment is healthy surroundings. Healthy surroundings. I have one right here. Oh, this piece is all sponsoring. Make sure that this is filled out so big, bigger than the food. I know you guys are so good at like mayonnaise and condiments and what else and all of that. But are we going to change their food anyway? Do we really need to know everything they eat, or do we need to know everything about their surroundings and who they're going to get healthy with and who they're going to pay it forward to and who's going to come with them? This is the first time that you get to really dig into sponsoring. So the skill set there is, wow, this is incredible. So on, your top 5 friends, Jody, are they, would you say your top 5 friends are healthier or unhealthier than you? Alan, who needs to get healthy with you? Who needs to do this with you? And then, like I tell you guys, take a big drink of water and don't answer for them. Okay. Don't start feeding them like, is it mom? Nope. Who needs to get healthy with you? Take a drink of water and don't say a word. They will always give you a name. I promise you. If they say, right now I can't think of anybody, that's okay. As you're getting healthy this week, Brian, names are going to start flying in your head. It happened to me my 3rd day. Be a prophet. Tell them what's going to happen. Tell them how they're going to feel. When I say, Adrian, This next week, we're going to dial you in, my friend. You're going to have so much energy. Your sleep is going to start to improve. You're going to want to shout this from the mountaintops on day 3 or 5. I don't know, somewhere in there. You're going to have a big shift and you're going to want to tell everyone about it. And I'll help you with that. But this week, we're going to focus on you. Complete that detox, learn some new habits. And on day 7, I'm going to help you to help the people that you mentioned when we were talking about your friend circle and your family. But right now, it's me and you for this week. But be thinking about it, because you're not going to be able to hide this healing. You're not. So it's the health assessment posture. You guys feeling it? Do you feel something like, yeah, I need to be stronger there? I'm not dripping. I'm waiting until my mentor gets on the phone. And then I'm like, turn my client into a coach. And I'm like, I needed to see you run the first leg of the race. Did you run it? Were you jumping up over here in the warm up? Nope. Okay, so the first whole leg of the race, the baton was dropped. We're disqualified because that was the leg of the race that took us out of the starting blocks. Okay, so what is the second lap around the track, guys? What is it? Who's number 2 in the race? Anybody know? Who's number 2? We got the health assessment. You guys are tracking with me. We're dripping like crazy. Our posture is strong. And of course, if I go to your Facebook, I need to know that you train and certify health coaches. I need to see the trilogy in your post. I'm not going to make that connection. So that's its whole other pre-game race thing. That's like you didn't even drive to the track, but we're going to run the race, but we never made it to the event. Like that's your brand. So if your brand is like healthy body, healthy body, healthy body, hey, expect to have a whole bunch of clients, but you're probably not going to have a whole bunch of coaches. So ask yourself, what does my Facebook look like? And a lot of us are just still rocking that healthy body. It's our comfort zone, but we're not getting out of it. So leg 2 of the race, I'm going to check the chat. This is a little more interactive today. Very important stuff, because we won't get there if we don't know what we're supposed to be looking for. Okay, someone said week 1 check-in. It's before that, or it could be at the same time, but it's before that. Someone help me. What do I need to do with my client to awaken them to coaching? I see Julie's coming in. Yes. Okay. Chasing better. Exactly. My question for you guys this morning. If I go to Chasing Better right now, can I find your trilogy story in there? I'm a client. I want to see my coach in there. And you might think, well, I can't put my story in there with all those big checks and big. Nope. Yes, you can. You have a coaching story. Remember, they're going to coach for fulfillment, accountability, and finances. We don't know the order they're going to want or what they're going to see. But if you don't have a story in Chasing Better, then you didn't run the second leg of the race and we were disqualified. And I know that some of you are still deciding who goes in there. I know, because I did it too. And I'm not judging you, but I'm going to tell you that won't work. It will not work. Your sponsoring machine will be broken and you will be cherry picking people to come on your team that you think are great that may never get out of the starting blocks themselves, because they had a secret that they didn't tell you, which was they're 1 house payment away from being homeless. And the only place that they could recognize hope was Chasing Better. Because how many of us sit around and talk about how unhealthy our finances are when we're with friends? None of us. We're not going to do it. It's embarrassing. There's a stigma that comes with that. And so if we don't carefully put everybody in there, making no assumptions about who they are and what they need, then we are still making decisions for other people. And they're not going to tell you that stuff. But when they see it, they're going to go, oh, wow. Now, if they have a bunch of chatter about it, that's okay. That's just their wall. Maybe they had something in the past that didn't go well and they have a wall. Are you going to stop giving them excellent client support, having them on the book challenge, having them read 5 minutes a day? Hey, listen, you're going to wear them out with that perception over time with your consistency and your stellar integrative non-hero coaching support. So eventually they're going to go, you know what? This isn't one of those things, because I'm feeling more love and support than I've ever felt in my natural born life. I don't know what's going on here, but maybe that chasing better thing wasn't weird. And maybe this thing is legit, but that will never happen if we didn't put them in there. So two things, that second leg of the race, what does it look like? Every single client gets added to Chasing Better on day 4 or day 7. For me, if they're shouting from the mountaintops, I do it on day 4. If they can't go potty, I do it on day 7 because I know they're grumpy and they're still working out the detox, and I'm not going to add them on that day. But I don't wait long, and I make sure it's day 7, and I tag them in some stories that resonate with them. If they're a teacher, I tag them in teacher stories. If they're a pastor, I tag them in pastor stories. I try to add, tag, message them. I'm going to add you to Chasing Better. Let me give you the language. Brian, you've been loving Nourished, right? You love Nourished? Good. Recipes, support, hope. Yep, I love it. Awesome. I didn't want to add you to 2 groups in the same day. The second part of our offering is healthy mind, purpose and fulfillment, and healthy finances. We separate that page out so we can keep food and body in one area and not mix it all together. That's called Chasing Better. I'm adding you to your second group today. Do me a favor, because it'll get lost in all your notifications. Please accept the invite as soon as possible. And you'll see that I tagged you in a few stories that I think you might like to check out, and we'll talk about it later. But enjoy what you see in there. It's brought me a lot of hope. Okay? Add, tag, message. Like, don't just drop people off in groups like that and not tell them what's going to go on. Ask them questions about the post. I think I just saw that, that you tag them in, ask them to text you when they get the invite. Yeah. So we got to make sure leg 2 is coming around. All right. What is leg 3 of the race? So if leg 2 is Chasing Better, meaning you have a story in there. So today you're like, shoot, I got to go write my story. Yes. Yes, you do, because that's who they're going to want to see. Okay. So what is the next leg of the race? Third lap around the track. Where are we going from there? Anybody? 1 week call with you / so this is their integration celebration call. The 1 week, we do this different than other teams. If you have the skill and you're not new, if you're new, your coach is probably doing your 1 week for you, because we do it for you until you have the strong skill, and then we pull out and let you do that. But week 1 is to make sure that we're celebrating them, awakening them to the parts of the program they're still not using, asking them if they're up for a challenge for the week, and then filling any gaps in their nutrition or what needs to happen, because we tell them right then and there, we're not talking about food anymore. We're not a diet company. We're a personal development organization. That's why when we say everyone needs coaching, why? Because we're a personal development organization and everyone needs personal development. Okay, so that's why we know it's for everybody. So in that 1 week, you're doing that. Now, on the 1 week call, are you making sure that they know on the health assessment? So here's another health assessment tip. You're going to have one-on-one coaching and team coaching, Michelle. You're going to meet many other coaches in and through your journey besides me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'll never have enough of what you need to transform you. I won't. So I'm going to bring other people in on your journey in and throughout. You'll meet your first group of them on Saturday morning. You're going to hear from other coaches in your community time. You're going to hear from other coaches on Monday nights. And on your 2 week call, I'm going to arrange something really special. And you're going to meet my coach, Brian, who's responsible for my transformation that had you reaching out. Did they do it for me? No, but they led me so well. And I can't wait for you to meet him because he literally is the person that walked out my transformation. And he's going to make a few minutes to talk to you and give you that same opportunity. It's very exciting. Am I saying weird things? Guys, some of the stuff I've heard is like, I'm like, whoa, whoa. Now you're going to need to talk to my coach. I know it's kind of weird, but like we have to do this because I'm still in training. So it's like, I'm going to see if I could get your schedule and if you could just, no, I've heard this stuff, guys. I've heard some really creepy stuff to where I would not even get on that call if you paid me, where it's super apologetic and it's very awkward. It doesn't have the heart of what we're trying to do. Now, what's crazy is you're edifying the heck out of your coach. But then when they get on the call, what do they do for you? They edify the heck out of you, right? Because we need that client to know you're in great hands. Sherry and Patrick know their stuff. Lean in, because I'm only here to add a little bit of connective tissue and color to your journey, but you are in excellent hands. And I encourage you to lean into them. See, you can't do that for yourself. We can, but it's going to sound real weird. Okay. If you tell them that you are the, cat's meow or whatever, they're going to be like, wow, I thought you said this was a personal development program. It's not working for you. You're blowing your own horn up. You can't do that. So when we see coaches that are still not doing 2-week integration calls, we're just blown. Like, it's like, why would you not want that in your business? Why wouldn't you want someone blowing you up, protecting integration, awakening them? And then the kicker, right, on that 2-week, man, here comes the anchor, right? Because you've done the dripping on the health assessment. You've done is this for you or for the career part of our opportunity? You've done so much dripping that they know that coaching is most assuredly coming at some point, that is a normal part of our journey. So when I get on your 2-week and I'm like, Naomi, your whole life has changed. Hold on. Let me get this. You're saying your sleep was a 2 and it's a 10 after 2 weeks? Whoa. Tell me again how many inches in weight you've lost in 14 days? Whew, my goodness. Okay, and your energy, it was sluggish. It was like a 5, and you're saying it's like a 9. Incredible. And you're just overall, if I could summarize what you're saying, is you're just kind of saying that your whole life has changed in 14 days. I mean, without me exaggerating. Oh yeah, no, I can't believe this, right? So we capture it when they're on fire. Their temptation hasn't hit. They hadn't had a bunch of weddings yet. They're like on fire. And we're like, listen, this isn't going to stop, Jody. It's not going to stop unless you stop it. It's not going to stop. So where are we going from here? What's the big, hairy, scary goal that you now know you can do? Because look at the first 2 weeks and you're like, oh, wow, shoot, I'm be greedy and go for this, that, and the other. And we're laughing. I'm rapport building. And then at the very end, I, the mentor, am saying, now listen, all this that's happening, everyone's going to notice. And we have a very cool part of our program where each one teaches one. It's built into our program. I'm a client, I'm a coach, but I'm still a client first. And so you're going to have an amazing opportunity to start helping all those people that you mentioned on your health assessment that are in your top 5 circle. And we are going to set up a meeting, a call after this, where we go through the 2 ways to pay this forward. Referrals, or you guiding them with us experientially, not academically. They don't need any more academics or experts in their life. They need you to experientially, lovingly walk with them in this. There are people you're going to want to do that with. There are people that woke up today with an energy out of 2 and you're at a 10 and they want that too. So we are going to set up a call, Jody, where we're going to talk about guiding versus referring. Let me be clear about this. This is not a persuasive meeting. We're not going to tell you which one to pick, but we're going to give you the information on both and you'll decide. And we've never really heard a no to guiding. Sometimes we hear not yet, but we've got to do this before we take your first referral, because once we take referrals, we don't give them back, right? And the reward is powerful on the guiding. So right now, while we all are here and we've got our schedules out, when can we do this meeting? When can we have this next guide explore call so we can cover this? And if you choose referring, we're going to teach you how to refer really well, because there is a right and a wrong way to refer, believe it or not. And we want to make sure that you have that. Now, if they have a big old wall and they're like, oh, I'm never coaching. I want to be told how to refer. I have no interest in coaching. Do we teach them right then and there how to refer? Yeah. And we say, that's okay, but at least you know it's an opportunity. And we didn't make a decision for you. I would have hated someone to make that decision for me, because my whole life has changed in 4.5 years. So as long as you know it's on the table, we're happy. And that's it. We don't keep bugging and pestering and come on and convincing. They said, I want to be, remember, 5 clients, 4 of them refer, 1 of them coaches with you. If you have 20 clients, you guys do have 4 coaches in your midst. Do you have your coaching goggles on? Are you seeing who's in Nourish, talking it up, welcoming people, living out loud? Those are your coaches. Put your coaching goggles on. Remember the green and the white? How many white things do you have in your room? And you guys were like, I got it. Today, go look for some green things. Go look in your client support page. Find the people that are fearlessly loving this program and they're raving fans, and they haven't been added to Chasing Better. And they haven't been given a 2-week call. And there's no way they're going to join your team if those things don't happen. So I'm going to close on this. I had so much more, but time just flew. You don't get good at coaching. You get good at the things that lead to coaching. Coaching is not a pitch. It's a process. It's a 4x4 relay. What do you need to stop doing today? That's my biggest question. What needs to stop today? Identify it. Do it without judgment. If you're like, man, I feel so bad, I don't add any of my clients to Chasing Better, and I'm not doing 2-week integration calls. We love you. That's why you're here, because we know you have chatter and you're scared and you might have had bad experiences in your past, and we love you. And we're not mad, and nobody's going to judge you or think less of you if you admit that and say, how do I fix this? In your mind, it's going to feel like taking the Titanic and making a U-turn, but it actually isn't. And we can teach you how to fix it real quick because we've seen it before. Okay. So don't be hard on yourself. Just be honest. Today, let me share my screen real quick. Pretty simple. Pretty simple stuff today. I really wanted to get down to it. What do you need to stop doing? This is huge, guys. Put it in your business thread. Admit it and ask for help, because someone's life is not going to get changed until this stops. And then elevate day 15 or day 16 or 17, wherever you are, if you've been working through weekends. And that's it, because once you got this one right here, everything changes. Everything can change for you today, literally today. And you're going to see, oh my gosh, they were not making this stuff up. No, we're not making it up. I promise you, it really matters. So we love you. Do it without the judgment. I can't say that enough. You're here for a reason. You have a specific genius for this mission. And it's okay if your chatter got the best of you sometimes, but let's not stay there. Let's grow through that. Okay. All right. Good. You guys feel like you're ready to go sponsor? Okay. Love you guys. Talk to you later.